Hey, it's me. I'm still here and working on videos. I'm trying to upload more often, but if I was a parent, I'd probably be the dad that went to get milk. Anyway, thanks to these guys for the suggestion. Load up Grounded. Start a new game. Welcome to a news report on children mysteriously disappearing. Nice to see those Minecraft YouTubers are still at it. You are one of these children. I don't know. Pick whichever one you want. For some reason, you are the size of an ant and are in somebody's incredibly dirty back garden. You might be wondering why you're here, and honestly, I'm just as clueless as you. Luckily, your scabby watch thing has picked up a signal of some science station where you can scan resources and learn new recipes for tools and stuff. Maybe your miniatureness is caused by this thing. It's got glowing buttons and could be a machine designed to destroy anything that steps on it. It's all good. Pushing one of the buttons activated these 3 lasers, but 2 of them aren't working. The first one is being blocked by some grass, which is easily solved by removing it, and the other one is being munched on by some lawn mites. Yeah, in case you didn't realize, being the size of an ant makes bugs big and scary. Don't worry, we'll get to the horrifying idea of giant insects soon. After killing the mites, you press the button of the mysterious machine again. I just hope it's not anything dangerous, like that. Whatever this machine is, it's not doing what it's supposed to, unless the thing it's supposed to do was set off a terrorist attack underneath the tree. Go over to the tree to find a door. How mysterious. I didn't know doors could explode. Someone set up a lab down here, and there's a robot that needs helping in the form of some gentle encouragement to stand up. The robot's name is Burgle. He tells you were shrunk down by Dr. Tully's spacer machine, which is that thing that you found before, but turning it on caused a power surge, which caused the explosion and made Burgle's memory files corrupt, so he doesn't remember where Dr. Tully's gone or how to repair the spacer machine to get you back to normal size. Basically, someone's dirty back garden is your home for the next few months, I guess. Dr. Tully backed up Burgle's memories on some chips like the prepared science man he is, which you can find in his other labs across the garden. The first being the hedge lab, where he studied arachnid webbing. Yeah, there's spiders in the garden and they're big enough to scare Australia, so this should be fun. After syncing yourself to the mainframe, build a house. Like I said, you're going to be here for a while, and having a place to sleep away from the thousands of insects that want to murder you would make this slightly more bearable. Time to go to the hedge. In case you're confused about where that is, look for the hedge. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a pretty useful place. You can find berries that can be used to make berry leather, as well as little spiders. I can't lie, I was expecting these guys to be a little bit bigger. Okay, that's a little bit bigger, but I'm sure that's as big as they get. If you're like me and have the coordination of a small child, then these spiders might cause you some trouble, so make some armor. You can make different types of armor using bug parts, but the easiest one to make is the acorn armor, which has you looking like a certain mask-wearing Naruto character. Inside the hedge, you find the lab, which has a console used to unlock all the doors. It needs a password, though, and I don't know where you're gonna find one of them. The password pieces are on bits of paper around the lab, and you have to kill the spiders and robotic guards to collect them. Doing so unlocks the door housing Burgle's first memory chip. Taking it back to him reveals 4 labs that contain his memory chip: the hedge lab, the pond lab, the haze lab, and the black ant lab. You've done the first one, so only 3 more to go. Get some rest after your hard day's work and have a dream about some scientists shrinking you with the spacer machine. If only you knew what this evil corporation was called. Dr. Tully worked for Ominent and they stole his technology, but you still don't know how you ended up in his back garden. Right now, that's not important. The tools you have are all tiered, and currently you have tier 1. They're shit. You want tier 2, the insect hammer and the insect axe. To get them, you need to kill ladybugs, which hit hard enough to put a hole through the earth and take 3 to 5 business days to kill, stink bugs that smell worse than the greasy kid at your school who hasn't learned what a shower is yet, and bombardier beetles that are the insect equivalent of a nuclear deterrent. Although ladybugs are easy to kill by hiding behind a shield and taking a few days off work, the other 2 have very specific weaknesses that you need to use to kill them. Great, you've got tier 2 tools. Now let's make a bigger base with the addition of zip lines to get across the garden faster. This isn't what I had in mind when I said faster. You can speed up the building process by making red ant armor, which allows you to carry more stuff, and eventually you'll have a house that even a pro Minecraft builder will be jealous of, made out of random bits of grass and weeds that you've chopped down. I hope Tully pays you for mowing his lawn and weeding his garden. It's time to go to the pond. You're actually able to go to whichever lab you want, but I'm scared of open water, so I'd like to get this one out of the way as soon as possible. You might be asking yourself, what is there to be scared of in a garden pond? And gee, I wonder. There's also spiders. Yes, if normal spiders weren't scary enough, now you have moist spiders. The way into the pond lab is inside a tunnel at the bottom of the pond, and it's fairly easy to get into. The only problem is your human lungs aren't equipped for that kind of underwater travel. Make some flippers out of water boatman bits to swim faster, and at the entrance to the tunnel, dig up sunken bones using a shovel and make a bubble helmet, making the pond lab more accessible than your mum's open leg. Inside the lab, you've got your standard robotic guards equipped with laser balls, but to unlock the rest of the lab, you need to spin some things, flip the stuff, reset the breakers. They're the big yellow things in the water nearby. I don't know why Dr. Tully put them out there with the moist spiders. He could have just put them next to the big computer, but I guess not. After killing more robot bouncers, you find the next memory chip for Burgle. A few little details I missed because I forgot to write them down. Across the garden, there's different collectibles that help you on your quest to not get eaten by bugs. Raw science, which looks like floating pink jelly with sprinkles, can be used to buy new recipes and stuff at Burgle's computer. Milk molars and super milk molars basically just increase your stats, and general surviving can result in you getting mutations, which give you different buffs and abilities. Also in the lab, you can find little voice notes from Tully talking about various experiments he's doing. They're not that important, but I don't know, some of you guys are really all about that lore, so if you're that pressed about it, go and play the game yourself, you bumhead. Take the next chip to Burgle and he'll tell you the spacers and beginning cell broke, which is the thing that makes the bigness happen. could use a bit of that on my dick. Although he's got a spare cell, it's empty and he can't remember the recipe to make it. In other words, you need the next chip. Go to sleep and you'll have another dream. Ominous scientists experimenting on you. There's a Project Orc. Game exposition. You know how it is. As I mentioned earlier, you can make different armor out of the bugs you mercilessly kill, and each set has different stats and buffs, so you may want to have a long, hard think about which one best benefits your playstyle. Make the ladybug armor. Just do it. The bugs of the garden have weaknesses that make them easier to kill, so you want to have a selection of weapons to counter whatever it is you're fighting, or you could just cheese it from a distance with a bow. Now, to the haze! You should really fix this zipline. The haze, or as I like to call it, the Austrian painter's paradise, is filled with toxic gas from what I assume is like weed killer. I don't know. It's infected the bugs but will also destroy your lungs faster than flavored air from a corner shop, meaning you need to prepare like it's World War I. To get into the lab, you need to blow the doors with a bomb made out of ant babies. It's one of the easier labs to do in my opinion if you don't mind getting exploded by infectious fungus, although it does have a mini boss fight infected ladybug. Like I said before, ladybugs are hard to kill, never mind when they're juiced up off mushrooms. After killing it, you find Burgle's next chip, and that gives him a piece of the embiggening cell recipe alongside some coffee maker. Nice to see we're backing up the important memories here. Of course, like with the first two chips, going to sleep gives you an expositional, premonitional memory blast. The scientist is talking about fixing something called the raising problem, and the director of Ominent, Director Schmechter, is like, "Good, we have what we wanted, now burn the children." I don't know how serious he was since you're still fucking breathing. When you mention the raising problem to Burgle, he tells you it's a side effect of being shrunk. Dr. Tully was going through it when he disappeared. Now there's only one more lab left until you can go home. It's in the Black Ant Hill, which for someone 1 inch tall is a small pilgrimage away. You could use your zipline, but it needs a bit of work doing. Instead, make a zipline tower on the tree that can reach all parts of the garden. We're going for efficiency here, not weight loss, so cutting out a bit of walking will be good. The Black Ant lab is probably the toughest lab, which is why we're doing it last, but that also means we need a bit of preparation. Go to the Black Ant Hill and kill some of the residents. It's deep inside the disgusting, stinky landfill in the corner. Make a Black Ant shield and sword, then go to the sandbox, kill some ant lions, and make an ant lion greatsword. I should mention the sandbox gets hot, so you need some protection. You can make the ant lion armor, but to get that, you need to go into the sandbox, so instead, just eat some mint chunks, get the fresh defense mutation, and make do, I guess. After getting enough parts for the antlion greatsword, you probably have enough for the armor too anyway, so you might as well make that. To be fair, this armor looks pretty cool. What's happening to me? Northern Bob is no more. Now it is I, Mexican Diego. Is that racist? I hope not, because I've dedicated a full thing to this. Time to take down the Black Ant Hill. Vamonos! As Bob was saying before, the Black Ant lab is muy duro. Not many venture in and come out alive. Using a bomb, you can gain access to a terminal that unlocks Sector A. Making your way through eventually gives you access to Sector B. You find a room filled with soldier ants and a singular button that reveals a glass seal of another part of the lab, with an ever so small crack in the corner that can be blown with a bomb. Hopefully you went like Mexican Diego and didn't bring enough bombs down, forcing you to run back home, steal more red ant eggs, make more bombs, and then return to the lab once more. Blowing the glass and entering the lab triggers an alarm, and when turned off brings forth El Demonio, the assistant manager. He's basically just a robot guy. Too bad for him, he can't stand the power of Mexican Diego. With El Demonio vanquished, you can take the final chip. Thus ends the journey of Mexican Diego. Oh god, what happened? I don't remember anything. Oh, we have the last chip. Better take it to Burgle. Doing so unlocks more of the embiggening cell recipe, and side note, it's toenails, which is gross, but anyway, disaster strikes. The final piece of the recipe is marked as missing. Dr. Tully wiped it from Burgle's memory. He conveniently remembers that Dr. Tully's scab can be tracked and learns that it's on his favorite chair near the shed. Finally, you go to sleep and experience the final dream. The scientist Ominent didn't agree with Director Schmechter's ways, and instead of terminating you like he asked, gave you your clothes back and pinged you into Dr. Tully's back garden. Now, more preparation time. Killing the assistant manager gave you the assistant manager keycard that unlocks a door near Burgle. Inside there's a zipline part that is basically just an aphid forced to live a life of dragging you up and down zip lines against its will. Make a better house for literally no reason whatsoever. Seriously, this was a waste of time. I don't know why I did this. The shed with Dr. Tully's chair is in the upper garden, where the terrain is mean and the bugs are even meaner. But new bugs means new tools, weapons, and armor. Kill some termites next to the shed and make a termite axe. Spoiler, it's better than your shitty bitty insect axe. What a loser. Next, make the roly-poly armor. You need some lint rope and pupa leather to make it. Get the lint off the shed's doormat, and if you don't know where it is, the pupa hide can be very annoying to find because the bits underneath the shed probably won't be enough, and Google doesn't seem to know any other places. So let me give you some locations. The ravines to the left of the shed, random overhang on the right of the shed, the fallen stump, and probably many more. Those were the only locations I was able to find. The roly-poly armor is basically just better ladybug armor. Is it the best one? I don't fucking know, but it got me to the end. Of course, there's also tier 3 weapons. The Salt Morningstar is made out of salt globs and used chewing gum. My favorite ended up being the Tick Macawahoo Macadaka Ding Dong. Kill some Black Ox beetles. If you're struggling, use the Salt Morningstar and just be better at the game. Make the Black Ox hammer and finally go to Tully's chair. He's not there, but his scabby is, as well as some of his toenails. Listen, I'll take them, but just know I am not happy about it. There's an audio file on his scabby where he talks about having more wrinkles than an elderly set of balls from the raisioning and going to work in solitude away from everyone to find a cure in his final lab under the shed. So I guess we have to go follow him. The undershed is like if Marmite was a place. There's bugs, it's dark, and if you make it past everything that wants to kill you, you find a webbed hole. I was low-key hoping it was Spider-Man waiting for me with a cake, But no, it's a Black Widow, and my undies are ruined. Kill the Black Widow by chugging all sorts of garden juices and slapping it with your Tic Maca Hookie Dookie until it stops moving, and find the final lab. As a last-ditch effort, Dr. Tully tried to solve his raisoning problem by creating a human-bug hybrid. Was he successful? I'm not sure. Yeah, this is the man, Tully's solution into the raisoning problem, but now there's another problem. It's you. You're the problem. Hopefully that wasn't him, because he was your only way out of here, even if he was all mantified. Nope, he's actually alive still, but he thinks you're working for Ominent and trying to steal his embiggening recipe, which is like half right. Since he's alive, you must have found a cure for the raisoning. This actually looks worse than dying. After seeing you're just a kid, he feels guilty and decides to help you get home. The final ingredient of the embiggening cell is grilled science. I don't know why someone would choose to throw science on a George Foreman, but we're not here to ask questions. Take the grilled science from his storage and go to the Java-matic coffee maker where the embiggening cell is made, but Ominent have sent robot bugs to attack it. Basically, you just need to defend the Java-matic from robot bugs long enough to rustle up the embiggening cell, which I thought was going to be easy. It's not. There is a way though. Build your defenses around the Java-matic and eventually, the embiggening cell will be complete and you're able to take it to the spacer machine where this all started and go home. There's actually multiple endings, one where you can help Tully find a cure, but I definitely forgot to do that, so he's just a wrinkly testicle floating in a fishbowl.